The downside of being a role model, there is no downside of that. That's just wonderful. I met him first in Australia, but we had had a phone conversation before that. And he actually said to me, I'd like to do a documentary about you. I said, right. And he said, but I got to tell you, I'm not a fan. I went, okay. And he said, it's not that I don't like your music, but I'm not a fan. I said, okay, that's fine, no problem. So then why do you want to do a documentary? And he said, because I saw you talking on television, and you fascinated me. So I liked his approach, and I thought I would get a very balanced, objective film, and I did.
We turn on the telly, and there's Top of the Pops. And there's Suzi singing Can the Can. I mean, my brain literally exploded. I've never seen a woman with an instrument in a band.
It was just unbelievable. It was like, you know, that thing where your chills go through your body and you're just freaking out because it's like, did I really just hear this? I mean, it was a girl, you know? You'd be in a girl singing group if you were singing. They weren't playing their instruments. There was a difference.
I can't remember. I think he contacted somebody that knew me, and they got in touch, and then he made a phone call. And then finally I was on tour in Australia, and he came to a show, and we started. And we went from there. He did various trips to America. He came to England, did stuff in Australia. He's been everywhere. So the relationship began then. Mickey said, we need to wear, you have to see what you're going to wear. He said, I think you're going to have a number one. What do you want to wear? And I said, leather. He was against it. And I insisted because I'm such an Elvis fan. I said, I'm wearing leather. So he said, okay, jumpsuit.
I never forget when Mickey sat down at our dining room table and he drew a leather catsuit. And he said, that's what I want Suzi to wear on stage, like all the all-in-one leather. I said, how did you come up with that? He's from the film Barbarella with Jane Fonda. So he said, we'll base it on that.
When I did my first photo session with the record playing in the background, I was in the studio with Garrett Mankiewicz. The song was on. I had my first jumpsuit on. Well, it's been four years in the making, so that's a lot of interviews, a lot of talking there. I had nothing to do with any of the questions whatsoever. Nothing. That was him making I didn't make the documentary. It's about my life. Everybody that was interviewed had the chance to say what they wanted to say in answer to the questions. I was nowhere near anybody that was interviewed. Was not in the room, was not even in the country half the time. So that was between the interviewer, Liam, and the people.
You know, Suzi'd probably knock your teeth out if you were in a fight with her, you know. But still, it's my little sister, you know, and protection, you know. You can see if a guy was looking at this, he would look at this and go, okay, she's flirting with him, he's protecting her, you know. And that was kind of our relationship right there, you know. And she was pretty hard not to flirt with because she was really cute, you know.
Well, of course I knew who he was interviewing, and why wouldn't he interview my sisters? I wish he would have done Arlene too, my eldest one. He didn't get to her. But he was at my 65th birthday party in Detroit, and he took that opportunity to interview Nancy and Patty. Sure, I knew he was going to interview him. I think he spent quite a bit of time with both of them. I know he talked a lot. Yeah, sure. Sure, they've seen the film. I think they got it just when it was finished. And I had editing rights. You know, I could chop out stuff I didn't like, and there were parts that were uncomfortable. Some of that was uncomfortable for me, and I purposely said to myself, no, they were asked a question, this is how they feel, I allowed them to say how they feel. I didn't take anything out, even if, like I said, it was some of it uncomfortable, but everybody has their opinions, and it's impossible to have a family of 5, and one girl gets picked out, and for that not to happen. I think that's pretty impossible. You're going to get those feelings, you know, so, but it's all okay. It's all okay, because I won.
Tina said very wisely, oh, I don't know, that rock and roll, that's like for young men. That's not like for nice girls. I said, oh, that's not true. Look at this, Suzi Quatro, and look, she's playing the bass guitar and singing. And look at this cool outfit she's wearing, you know? And listen to this, she's really rocking out. She can really do it, just like a guy can, maybe even better.
I have seen the documentary many times, and on the big screen too, which is great, yeah. The film is 100% me, all of me. The performer side, the quiet side, you know, it's got everything in there. He did a fabulous job. He represented me perfect. There was good, there was bad. It was a life that he showed, and I wanted it to be honest, and that's what it was. It was honest. There are uncomfortable moments, you know, sure, but they're the best parts of the film, the uncomfortable moments. I love it. I love the whole thing. Love the honesty of it. You reflect as you get older. You reflect a little bit. And could I have done without everything that I did? No. But you reflect on the fact that, yes, indeed, I don't know if compromise is the right word, but there was something that I should have embraced more. I will always have that bit of a empty space in me that I wished I had more time in Detroit, more time just to be a kid. I did always want to run away. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe I regret that now that I spent so many years getting away from it, and it was such a perfect time. You know, for some reason, I want to go back into there, and I don't know what that is.
Do you half expect to see that child open the door?
I do. I see little Suzi. I feel little Suzi. I could walk back into that life. You know, I was looking on the sidewalk in front of the house for the chalk, because I used to paint chalk down the sidewalk.
So if little Suzi had opened the door, when you were just staring at your old house and suddenly the door opened and there she was, standing there, you know, what would you say?
Oh, I'd say, stay there and enjoy this as long as you can. I like it all. Very, very nice what friends of mine who I've worked with have said about me. I thought Debbie Harry was particularly sweet. She was just great. Cherie Curry, she was great. Joan said some nice things, you know. Alice was great. All the people that were in it, they were all very complimentary. And I think my favorite was Henry Winkler from Happy Days at the very end. And everybody in the film, I've seen lots of documentaries, but everybody in the film that was in this film because they wanted to be. And they were very sincere in what they said. This is what made me cry when I watched it, you know. It wasn't just blah, blah, blah. He didn't want to be in it because I think he thought he would be too honest, and he would say his opinions, and maybe it would cause bad feelings. And when I do the movie, though, I know he wants to be part of that, so. Because a big part of my life, 27 years is a big part of my life. The verses that you saw written out were taken from my poetry book, which was published about maybe 5 years ago, 2015. Yeah, 2015. And it's called Through My Eyes, and it's a collection of poetry that I've done since I've been 7 or 8, and I've done it right through my life. So we picked out Liam picked out from the book certain bits of poetry that he thought would fit the film, and he had me read it.
That first band was the Neighborhood Kids with the 2 sets of sisters.
And I remember it exactly. Nan went, I'm going to play the drums. Mary Lou said, I'm going to play rhythm guitar. Patty said, I'm playing lead. And I went, hello? She said, you're going to play bass. I went, okay. And I went and asked my dad, did he have a bass? And he gave me this. And I really did literally plug it in and just said, yeah, done. Cut.